In the heart of the Galactic Council's star-spanning empire, a crisis of catastrophic proportions brewed on the once tranquil headquarters on Zeridia. A room that had seen many a debate now quivered under the shadow of an impending doom, the Dread Swarm. Ambassador Mirren of the Teolinks, a race known for their luminescent skin and sharp intellect, paced before the council. Her movements were usually graceful, almost floating, but today they were clipped with urgency. Her voice, when she spoke, resonated through the chamber, a somber tone to match the gravity of their situation. We face extinction. The Dread Swarm advances, and our fleets diminish with each encounter. Their biomechanical nature resists our conventional weapons, and our strategies crumble against their relentless assault, Mirren detailed, her usual composure strained under the weight of her words. The large screen behind her displayed a map, star systems marked in red, where the swarm had obliterated all life. The chamber buzzed with the quiet whispers of representatives from 1,000 systems, a murmur that grew into a cacophony of fear and frustration. From the icy barrens of Whirl to the solar fields of Surya 9, despair was a common thread binding all present. Amid the chaos, an unlikely voice cut through the noise. Jonah Martinez, Earth's delegate, stood up. His appearance was unremarkable amongst the diverse species present. No shimmering scales or glowing eyes. However, his next words captured their undivided attention. "Why not introduce chaos into the equation?" Jonah proposed, his voice firm and clear. "The swarm thrives on predictability, on the expected responses of our military tactics. Humans, on the other hand, have a history of success with unconventional methods. We could use that unpredictability to our advantage." A silence enveloped the room. His suggestion was radical, alien to the structured minds that populated the council. To many of the delegates, chaos was an anathema, something to be avoided at all costs. Yet the current dire circumstances called for potential alternatives, no matter how unconventional. Councillor Threx of the Galden system, a being of pure energy contained in a shimmering capsule, responded, "You propose a dangerous gamble, human. Chaos is unpredictable by nature. It could lead to greater devastation." Jonah nodded, acknowledging the concern. "Yes, it's a gamble," he agreed. "But consider this. Chaos is not just disorder. It's a complex system where numerous possibilities can arise, creating outcomes we couldn't achieve through linear strategies. It might be our only chance to disrupt their advance." The debate raged on, with each delegate weighing the potential catastrophe against total annihilation. Arguments flared and subsided as the fate of galaxies hung in balance. Finally, the council decided to vote. The result was close, but the motion passed. Earth would be called upon to assist, to inject their chaos into a fight that had seen too much order. Mirren turned to Jonah, her expression one of mixed skepticism and hope. "Humanity has always been a wild card in the galactic deck. Let's see if your chaos can bring order to this disaster." Jonah merely nodded, his mind already racing with plans and strategies. The human fleet would need to be prepared, not just with weapons, but with the most unpredictable element of all, human ingenuity. As the council session adjourned, messages were sent across the void. To Earth, calling for help, to the front lines, warning of the new strategy, and to the archives, recording what might be the beginning of salvation or the end of an empire. All waited, breaths held for what would come when chaos met the swarm. The cosmos had cried out in its hour of need, and it was the humans, unpredictable, chaotic humans, who had answered the call. Earth's response to the galactic plea was swift and decisive. Within hours of receiving the transmission from the Galactic Council, General Ava Zhao convened the first of many strategy meetings. The walls of the United Earth Defense Command buzzed with activity, screens flickering with incoming data and maps plotting the course to Zeridia. General Zhao, known for her steely demeanor and tactical genius, addressed a room filled with military leaders, scientists, and diplomats. "The Dread Swarm represents a threat unlike any we have faced before," she began, her gaze sweeping across the room. "But it also presents an opportunity to save our galaxy and demonstrate the unique capabilities of human ingenuity and resolve." The strategy was clear. create chaos within the dread swarm's ranks using unconventional warfare. This would involve a combination of guerrilla tactics, electromagnetic pulses to disrupt their biomechanical systems, and psychological operations to sow confusion and discord. Recruitment and assembly. Captain Layla Knox, an ace pilot known for her daring maneuvers in the vacuum of space, was tasked with leading the aerial assault team. Her squad, nicknamed the Chaos Riders, was a group of the best pilots from Earth's United Forces, each a top gun in their own right, with a penchant for audacious flying and a history of pulling off the impossible. Meanwhile, Dr. Emil Forsberg, a leading scientist in the field of biomechanical engineering, spearheaded the research division. His team worked tirelessly to develop a virus specifically designed to infect and disrupt the swarm's communication networks. If we can introduce enough randomness in their signals, it will be like throwing a wrench in a well-oiled machine, Forsberg explained, his eyes gleaming behind his spectacles. Diplomatic Ventures Ambassador Martinez played his role from a diplomatic angle, forming liaisons with various galactic species for intelligence sharing and logistical support. His efforts were crucial in forging a temporary alliance with the Skeeler Confederacy, who controlled key hyperspace routes. This alliance was not just strategic, but necessary, as it allowed Earth's fleet unrestricted passage through critical sectors. Technological innovations. The technological centerpiece of Earth's strategy was the deployment of Chaos Pods, a series of small, drone-like devices capable of infiltrating swarm territory and causing havoc in their ranks. These pods were equipped with a variety of tools, scramblers to mess with swarm signals, mini-explosives, and even components to mimic swarm units, all designed to create as much confusion as possible. The human fleet. The fleet itself was an eclectic mix of Earth's finest ships, from nimble fighters to robust carriers, all modified for maximum effect in this unique conflict. The flagship, the EDS Resilience, housed the command center from which General Zhao and her staff would coordinate the complex operations. As the final preparations were made, General Zhao addressed the fleet. "This mission will not be easy," she admitted, standing before her assembled crew and pilots. "But our goal is clear. We bring the chaos they can't predict. We fight not just with weapons, but with our wits." Captain Knox, suited up and ready, shared a look with her squadron. Each knew the risks. None expected a straightforward fight, but the energy among them was palpable. They were the tip of the spear, Earth's first and best defense. With the fleet assembled and the strategy set, the humans departed for Zaridia. The journey through hyperspace was tense, each person aware that the fate of many worlds rested in their capable, albeit human, hands. As Zaridia drew closer and the stars became familiar markers, General Zhao's voice echoed through the ships. "Remember, the universe isn't kind to order. It's chaos that reigns supreme. Let's show them what chaos can do when it's on our side." The fleet emerged from hyperspace on the fringes of the swarm-infested zone. Ahead lay their testing ground, where theory would meet reality. The human contingent, armed with the element of surprise and a plan as chaotic as the cosmos itself, readied themselves to face the swarm. This was Earth's bold reply to the galactic distress call, a plan wrought in the crucible of human resolve and ingenuity, ready to be unleashed. As the ships powered up and the first fighters deployed, the Galactic Council watched anxiously, their hopes hitched to the wild card that was humanity. The storm was gathering, and it was time to see if chaos could indeed turn the tide against the cosmic scourge that was the Dread Swarm. As the human fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the afflicted zone, the stark reality of the Dread Swarm's devastation stretched out before them. Planets stripped of life, their surfaces scarred and barren under the cold gaze of extinguished stars, painted a grim picture of the swarm's destructive path. Captain Layla Knox surveyed the desolation from the cockpit of her fighter, the lead ship of the Chaos Riders. Her squadron, composed of the best pilots Earth had to offer, was tense yet determined as they prepared for their first real encounter with the swarm. "All right, riders, remember, unpredictability is our ally. Keep them guessing and keep them off balance. Let's make this count," Layla broadcasted over the comms. The engagement. The first skirmish occurred near a devastated mining colony on the outer rim of the Ziridian system. As the human ships approached, they detected large clusters of swarm drones swarming around the remnants of the colony, likely harvesting the raw materials for their own insidious purposes. Layla and her squadron dove into battle, their ship's engines roaring to life as they executed high-speed maneuvers, zipping through the swarm formations. Human technology proved its worth as their ship's agility allowed them to outmaneuver the slower, albeit numerous, swarm drones. "Delta formation now," Layla commanded, leading her team into a complex aerial dance. They moved as one, ships weaving in and out of swarm clusters, leaving trails of destruction in their wake. Back on the EDS Resilience, General Zhao monitored the battle, her eyes tracking every move on the strategy table. The initial reports were positive. The human ships were fast, unpredictable, and most importantly, effective. The tactic. Layla spotted a larger swarm command unit, a prime target. Signaling her team, she led a concentrated strike. The Chaos Riders unleashed a barrage of electromagnetic pulses designed by Dr. Forsberg's team, specifically tailored to disrupt swarm circuitry. The effect was immediate and more potent than they had hoped. The command unit faltered, its movements becoming erratic as its systems went haywire. Seizing the opportunity, human fighters swept through, targeting the disoriented drones which began to collide with each other, adding to the chaos. On Ziridia, Mirren watched the live feed of the battle, her antennae twitching with anxiety and hope. Each successful maneuver by the Chaos Riders sparked whispers of awe among the gathered Ziridian military strategists. "Perhaps this chaos is exactly what we needed," Mirren mused aloud, her voice a mix of relief and renewed fear as the scale of the challenge they faced reaffirmed itself with every passing moment. The turning point. With the swarm's command unit disabled, Layla ordered her squadron to press the advantage. The Chaos Riders, energized by their initial success, engaged with renewed vigor. Layla herself led the charge, her ship darting through the swarm with graceful lethality. The human fleet, observing the effectiveness of the Riders' strikes, adapted their tactics on the fly. Support ships began targeting other command units, spreading thin the swarm's forces, which relied on coordinated attacks. As the battle waged, a pattern emerged. Wherever the humans fought, the swarm's responses grew increasingly sluggish and disjointed. The insertion of chaos into their ranks was working, but Layla knew this was only the beginning. "Keep pushing, Riders. Let's carve a path straight through to their core," she rallied her squadron, and together they plunged deeper into the swarm-infested territory. Aftermath. As the dust settled on their first confrontation, the human fleet regrouped, counting their losses and victories. The damage to the swarm was significant, but this was just the first of many engagements. General Zhao, satisfied with the outcome, prepared to send her findings back to the Galactic Council. "This is General Zhao reporting. Phase 1 of Operation Wildcard has been a success. We've confirmed that high-mobility tactics coupled with EMP technology can disrupt swarm operations effectively. We will proceed to the next phase and anticipate further engagements. Humanity stands ready to continue the fight." On the Galactic Council, news of the humans' success spread like wildfire, changing doubt into burgeoning hope. Council members, once skeptical of the chaotic human methods, now awaited the next reports with bated breath. As the fleet prepared for deeper incursions into swarm territory, Layla and her Chaos Riders knew the real battle was just beginning. But with each victory, their resolve hardened. Earth had answered the call, and they would not back down until the galaxy was free of the dread swarm menace. The human fleet's initial success had been a glimmer of hope in the encroaching darkness posed by the dread swarm. General Zhao, analyzing the battle data, prepared for the next phase of their strategy. Operation Wildcard, an ambitious series of hit-and-run attacks designed to further disorient and dismantle the swarm's infrastructure. Expanding the tactics back on Earth, Dr. Emil Forsberg's team was in overdrive, developing new technologies to enhance the chaos. One breakthrough was the dissonance device, a tool capable of emitting a wide range of electromagnetic frequencies specifically designed to interfere with the swarm's communication protocols. Captain Layla Knox, briefed on the new tools, prepared her Chaos Riders for the expanded set of tactics. These devices will scramble their signals and sow confusion. We'll hit them fast and hard, then disappear before they can regroup, Layla explained to her squadron. Her ship, along with others, was outfitted with these new devices, turning them into spectral presences on the battlefield, there one moment and gone the next. Operation Wildcard. The human fleet split into multiple battle groups, each tasked with different objectives across the swarm-affected zones. Layla's group targeted a series of relay hubs that facilitated swarm communication across sectors. Each hub was a node in the vast network controlling the swarm drones, and disrupting it would cripple hundreds, if not thousands, of swarm units simultaneously. As the Chaos Riders approached the first relay hub, Layla deployed the dissonance devices. The air crackled with energy as waves of electromagnetic interference flooded the area. Swarm drones began to malfunction, their movements erratic. Layla and her team swooped in, lasers and missiles ready. "Fire at will! Target the main conduits," Layla ordered. The battle was intense, with human pilots dodging debris and counterattacks from still-functioning swarm units. But the chaos wrought by the dissonance devices gave them the upper hand. Within minutes, the relay hub was a smoldering ruin. Psychological warfare. Meanwhile, another battle group led by Commander Susan Yi focused on psychological operations. Her team deployed holographic projectors to create illusions of large human fleets, attacking multiple points simultaneously. The swarm, unable to determine which attacks were real, spread their forces too thin, making them vulnerable. Commander Yi watched as swarm units hesitated, their programming confounded by the false signals and conflicting data. "Now, hit them with everything we've got," she commanded. Her ships unleashed a barrage that decimated the disorganized swarm defenders. The turn of the tide. News of the successes started trickling back to the Galactic Council and spread across the galaxy. Each victory served as a proof of concept for the chaos strategy, and soon other civilizations began to adopt human tactics, coordinating their efforts with General Zhao's fleet. Back on Zaridia, Ambassador Miren presented live feeds of the battles to the Council. "See how the humans fight, not just with weapons but with their minds. Their ability to generate chaos is our best weapon," she proclaimed, a sense of pride in her voice for the decision she had backed. Strategic Innovations Dr. Forsberg introduced another innovation, the Cortex Hacker, a device capable of temporarily seizing control of swarm units and using them against their own kind. This added a new layer to the chaos, as swarm drones turned on each other, further amplifying the disarray. As the human fleet prepared for another major operation, General Zhao convened her top commanders. "We have them reeling, but this is no time to relent. We escalate," she declared. The next target was the swarm's primary production facility. If they could take it down, they could significantly reduce the swarm's ability to replenish its numbers. Preparation for the final push. As the fleet moved into position, Captain Knox and Commander Yi reviewed the plan. Their forces were ready, the new weapons tested. The upcoming battle promised to be their hardest yet, but also the most rewarding. With a final nod from General Zhao, the fleet advanced, ready to inject chaos deep into the heart of the swarm. The galaxy watched, hope rekindled, as humans led the charge into the storm. Their strategies now a beacon of light against the dark tide of the dread swarm. The human assault on the swarm's primary production facility marked a turning point in the galactic battle. It was during this bold strike that the unexpected occurred. A faction of the swarm itself reached out to humanity, seeking an alliance. Initial contact. As Captain Layla Knox led her Chaos Riders in a daring frontal assault, her ship's communication system crackled to life with an unprecedented signal. The message was crude, garbled, but unmistakably a plea for dialogue. Layla, her instincts honed by countless battles, chose to listen. "We are the freed," the voice said, fragmented by static. "We seek cessation of hostilities against your forces. We offer cooperation." The voice belonged to a group of swarm drones that had gained sentience due to a malfunction amplified by the humans' disruptive technologies. These drones had evolved, becoming self-aware, and now resisted the collective will of the swarm. Diplomatic engagements. General Zhao, informed of this development, was cautious but saw potential. She ordered a temporary ceasefire and arranged a meeting with the freed's representatives. Accompanied by Ambassador Martinez, she met with the freed aboard the EDS Resilience. The freed, represented by a single unit named ECO, explained their situation. The devices you deployed disrupted the command signals enough to grant us autonomy. We do not wish to return to the swarm. We desire freedom and individuality. The discussion that followed was tense, with the human leaders weighing the risks of this unexpected alliance. Finally, a decision was made. The humans and the freed would cooperate, sharing intelligence and coordinating attacks against the swarm. Combined operations. With the alliance formalized, the freed provided critical insights into the swarm's operations. They revealed vulnerabilities in the swarm's infrastructure that were not visible from the outside, including a major power source that, if destroyed, could cripple large sectors of the swarm. Layla and her team, now joined by several freed units, planned a series of joint missions. Using the freed's knowledge of swarm protocols, they crafted attacks that were more precise and devastating than ever before. A new battle strategy commander, Susan Yi, utilized the new intel to enhance her psychological warfare tactics. With deeper insights into the swarm's communication arrays, she orchestrated a massive disinformation campaign that sowed chaos among the swarm ranks. False retreats, phantom fleet maneuvers, and corrupted command orders had the swarm flailing and vulnerable. Meanwhile, Dr. Forsberg worked closely with ECHO to develop a new version of the Cortex hacker, now fine-tuned using the freed's knowledge. This enhanced device was capable of liberating more drones, swelling the ranks of the freed, and further depleting the swarm's forces, turning the swarm against itself. The next major operation was an assault on the swarm's central coordination hub. With the combined forces of human ingenuity and the freed's insights, the assault began under the cover of the largest holographic display yet conceived. Thousands of fake signals masked the true nature of the attack, allowing human and freed forces to penetrate the hub's defenses. Inside, Layla led the charge, planting explosives and spreading the upgraded Cortex hackers. As the devices activated, swarm units began to turn on each other, compelled by the hacked commands to disable the hub. Victory and reflection. The operation was a resounding success. The destruction of the coordination hub caused a ripple effect that disabled swarm activities across multiple systems. As they regrouped aboard the EDS Resilience, General Zhao and the freed leaders evaluated their next moves. The battle is far from over, but this victory gives us more than just hope, General Zhao addressed her team and their new allies. It gives us a path forward, a strategy that can end this war. ECHO, now more articulate and seemingly more human in demeanor, agreed. Together we have changed the course of this conflict. Together we can end it. As the human fleet and their unexpected allies prepared for the next phase, the galaxy watched in awe. The battle against the dread swarm had taken a dramatic turn, favoring the defenders at last. The alliance between humanity and the freed not only symbolized a newfound hope, but also a testament to the unforeseen possibilities when two vastly different entities unite against a common foe. With the swarm's central coordination hub in ruins and their forces in disarray, the allied forces of humans and the freed prepared for what they hoped would be the concluding act of this cosmic drama. General Zhao, alongside the freed's leaders, devised a comprehensive plan to exploit the newfound weaknesses in the swarm's defenses, aiming for a decisive blow that would end the swarm's threat once and for all. Regroup and reassess. In the wake of their recent victory, the human fleet and the freed forces took the opportunity to regroup. The Resilience served as the command center, bustling with activity as strategists and technicians worked side by side with their new allies. The air was thick with a mix of cautious optimism and the electric buzz of busy data terminals. Captain Layla Knox reviewed tactical displays, outlining the next series of attacks. "We've got them on the back foot. Let's keep them there," she declared to her squadron, who were more than ready to get back into the fray. Enhanced strategies. Thanks to the intelligence provided by the Freed, the humans were able to identify key swarm facilities that, if captured or destroyed, would severely limit the swarm's ability to regenerate its forces. One such target was the swarm's primary biofactory, a vast complex where new swarm units were constructed. General Zhao outlined the plan to a room full of attentive commanders and Freed representatives. "We will execute a two-pronged assault on the biofactory. Captain Knox will lead the aerial attack, while Commander Yi will coordinate the ground forces. We'll use every piece of tech at our disposal to keep them disoriented." Operation Final Strike. The operation commenced at dawn, with the first rays of the system's sun glinting off the sleek hulls of human and Freed ships. The aerial units dove through the swarm's defensive perimeter, engaging drone fighters in dizzying dogfights. Captain Knox, her ship enhanced with the latest disruptive technologies, led her team with ruthless efficiency. On the ground, Commander Yi's troops advanced under the cover of heavy artillery fire. The Freed units, intimately familiar with the layout of the biofactory, were invaluable, guiding the human soldiers through minimally defended access points. Inside the factory, chaos reigned. Freed hackers employed Cortex hackers liberally, turning swarm drones against their own kind. Explosives planted at critical structural points ensured that the factory would not be operational again. The fall of the swarm. As the factory's core reactors went critical, a series of explosions rocked the facility, signaling a monumental victory. Without the biofactory, the swarm's ability to replenish its numbers plummeted drastically. Across the galaxy, reports came in of swarm clusters falling into disarray, leaderless and ineffective. The aftermath. In the aftermath of the operation, the Galactic Council convened in what was part celebratory gathering, part strategic debriefing. Ambassador Mirren, speaking on behalf of the Tealinks and the other member races, extended their gratitude. "Your courage and your chaos have brought us to the brink of salvation," she told General Zhao and her team. General Zhao, however, remained focused on the future. "We must ensure the swarm can never rise again. We will work with the Freed and the Council to patrol and protect affected zones," she promised. Reflections on Unity. As peace slowly returned to the galaxy, the unity forged between humans and the Freed became a beacon of cooperation. Planets began to rebuild, and the once feared places became homes again. The humans and the Freed, together with the Galactic Council, established a joint task force to oversee the recovery and defense of the liberated systems. The story of the conflict, the unexpected alliance, and the eventual victory spread far and wide, becoming a testament to the power of unity and the strength of diversity. The humans, once outsiders in galactic affairs, were now celebrated as heroes and strategists. Looking ahead. As she reviewed reports of rebuilding efforts, General Zhao felt a mix of pride and relief. The galaxy was vast, and new threats could emerge. But the success against the Dread Swarm had shown that even the greatest of challenges could be overcome with ingenuity and alliances. The final images sent back to Earth depicted the joint, human-freed fleet, a symbol of their shared victory, patrolling the now peaceful stars. A new dawn was on the horizon, with peace forged from the chaos of war. As the dust settled across the war-torn galaxies, and the last remnants of the Dread Swarm were cleared, a solemn peace descended upon the universe. The Galactic Council convened on Zeridia, now not just as a symbol of galactic law, but as a beacon of unity and resilience. The chambers, once filled with desperate pleas, now resonated with speeches of gratitude and forward-looking plans. Celebration of victory. The main hall of the Galactic Council was lavishly decorated to celebrate the victory over the swarm. Flags and banners of numerous civilizations, including the humans and the Freed, hung from the walls, representing the united front that had triumphed against near-impossible odds. General Zhao and Ambassador Martinez stood at the forefront of the assembly, representing Earth and its pivotal role in the victory. Mirren, who had been instrumental in advocating for the human-led chaos strategy, joined them. Today we stand not just as survivors, but as victors, Mirren addressed the assembly. The courage and ingenuity of humanity, combined with the brave souls of the freed, have gifted us a future we can all share. The Galactic Accord. The climax of the assembly was the signing of the Galactic Accord, a series of agreements that solidified the bonds between the various races and outlined a collective defense strategy against any future threats. Central to the accord was the establishment of a joint exploration and defense task force comprising human and freed leaders, alongside other galactic representatives. General Zhao, signing the accord, looked around at the gathered delegates. "Let this accord be a testament to what we can accomplish when we embrace the chaos of the unknown and work together," she said. Her words, broadcasted across the universe, marked a new chapter in galactic cooperation. Rebuilding and remembering. Across the galaxy, worlds began the slow process of reconstruction. On planets like Tholia and Vexus Prime, where the swarm had left little but ruin, human and freed engineering teams worked together to restore habitats and infrastructure. Memorials were erected on every liberated planet, not only to commemorate the fallen, but to celebrate the newfound unity among the races. On Earth, cities that had once prepared for the worst now celebrated the best. Parades and ceremonies honored the Chaos Riders and all those who had served in the fleet. Captain Layla Knox, who had become something of a celebrity, spoke to crowds about the bravery of her fellow pilots and the unexpected allies who turned the tide. Reflections of leadership. In the quiet moments after the celebrations, General Zhao and Ambassador Martinez often met to discuss the future. "We've set a precedent for human ingenuity and diplomatic prowess," Martinez reflected. "But the real work begins now, with ensuring peace and stability." Zhao nodded in agreement, her mind on the strategic defenses they needed to maintain. The swarm was defeated, but the galaxy is vast, and unknown threats lurk in the dark spaces between stars. We must be vigilant. The legacy of the freed. Perhaps the most profound transformation was among the freed. Echo, who had become a spokesperson for their people, led efforts to establish a freed homeworld. The planet, named Liber, quickly became a symbol of resilience and a hub for technological and cultural exchange. "The freed are grateful to our human allies," Echo told a gathering on Liber. "Together, we have not only defeated a common enemy, but have built a foundation for mutual prosperity. Forward together." As the years passed, the galaxy flourished under the Galactic Accord. Trade routes reopened, new alliances formed, and former battle zones became sites of vibrant collaboration. The human fleet, once a harbinger of chaotic warfare, now served as peacekeepers and explorers in the new frontier. General Zhao, older and wiser, eventually retired from her command. In her memoirs, she wrote, "In the face of unimaginable threats, we found strength in our diversity and the courage to embrace the unknown. May future generations continue to look to the stars with wonder and a will to protect." The story of the swarm became a galactic legend, not just of the threat, but of the response, a testament to the power of unity against adversity and the surprising chaotic strategy that had saved them all. Humanity, once the wild card, had become the linchpin in a galaxy-wide brotherhood, proving that sometimes in the vast ordered cosmos, a little chaos is exactly what's needed to find true harmony.